Members of the OG Army, get those wallets unfolded. Coming up next on the OtherGround live stage, prepare for an eargasm by Passive J and Big Dalton.
Good afternoon, and welcome to yet another edition of OtherGround Live. I'm Passive J. That's Ryan over there. How you doing, Ryan?
It's June 3rd. It's what, Wednesday? And that's about all I have to say about that.
I see the OG Army's forming up in the chat box. Always happy to see you guys here. We're going to have a hell of a show. You got anything you want to cover before I get started on my normal complaining?
No, I got fucking nothing today.
I'm not going to have much either because a good portion of my day was filled by bullshit. I was supposed to get a delivery. Called them at 1:30, and excuse me. They said they'd have it to me in about an hour, maybe an hour and 15 minutes. So call that 2:30, somewhere between 2:30 and 3. I got actual delivery at 5:30, which was annoying as fuck because of the situation where I don't get a good cell phone signal in my back of my house. And for some reason I was having issues. So I knew I needed to be around the front of the house when the delivery was about due. So I spent fucking 3 hours basically sitting on my porch waiting for some guy to show up and give me weed.
Really?
Yeah, it was frustrating as fuck. I felt like the bad old days when weed was illegal and you had to put up with that shit because if your dealer showed up when he showed up and you had to fucking wait on him. But that stuff isn't like that anymore.
I thought you were waiting for a delivery of something important.
That is important. I need that. That's important to me, anyways. At least to the point where I don't want to miss the delivery. And what really annoyed me about it was I got really little information from the delivery service during all of this. I had to call them up every time. It's like, hey, your guy's like an hour late. There's something going on. Like 5 or 10 minutes later, yeah, he's running late. He'll be there in about an hour. I'm like, an hour from now? I go, well, that's kind of inconvenient, but okay. Then he didn't show up an hour later. I'm like, what's going on, man? I don't know. I don't mean to complain, but this is pretty late now. And the guy is like, sends me the driver's text phone number, and I told him, yeah, I don't really want to call your driver. No, I think what I put exactly was because I was texting back and forth. I don't like talking to people if I don't have to. What I posted was, no, thank you, comma. I do not want to call your driver. And then they sent a message. Well, he can give you an accurate ETA, and I just sent back the same message. No, thank you. I do not want to call your driver. I think the second time they got the idea because about 5 minutes later I got a ETA of 10 minutes, and then I called. Then I sent him a text about a half hour after that saying, hey. It's 20 minutes past your new ETA. This is kind of getting ridiculous, folks. And the guy showed up like 15 minutes after that, but they never texted me again.
So let me get this straight. You actually expected someone delivering drugs to have excellent customer service and be prompt.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's your problem.
It's a legitimate business, just like any other at this point. There's no excuse for poor customer service, and which surprised me because normally this place is really good about it. They're really friendly. They like to throw extras in lots of times, like I got free pre-roll and edible with my order, and they do the entire referral system. Like I actually got $25 off the order because I referred somebody else yesterday that bought off of them. So I'm hoping it doesn't. Continue like this because I'll feel pretty dumb about recommending the service. And then, excuse me, I'm still kind of frustrated. And then the same thing happened with a pizza order. Now, don't get me wrong, I didn't eat any of this pizza, but my wife worked today and and didn't really want to fuck with stuff when she got home. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. So rather than have her take extra time in rush hour traffic and stop for food on the way home, I decided I'd order a pizza for her and have it ready about the time when she got there. Because they give you estimates; they're not too normally bad off.
Oh, aren't you a nice little housewife?
I try. Except for this time when it was like an hour and 15 minutes late. She gets home and there's no pizza because I planned to get there about 15 minutes before she got here, and it showed up like basically an hour after she got home. So she's sitting there starving. She's like, "Well, why did you tell me not to stop someplace?" I'm like, "Well, because I thought I was gonna have pizza for you. I was trying to be nice." Uh, I did not have pizza. I'm not gonna fucking touch that shit. I didn't want to risk it. I mean, even at this point, even if you didn't have me on a pretty strict diet, I wouldn't risk it anymore. It's not worth the pain.
Likely story.
No, seriously, I didn't have any. But it's not all bad news today. I am really, really happy to announce that my wife got promoted today. Woohoo!
So you're no longer the breadwinner. Darn.
I'm no I don't know if I'm no longer the breadwinner or not, but it's certainly gonna be a boost. As I've mentioned before, she, works at the same country club that I do as the assistant to the locker room manager. We found out today that the locker room manager is retiring, and she's the new locker room manager. We don't know what that means as far as her pay. My wife forgot to ask. I love her to death. How do you forget to ask how much you're gonna be making? Um, but I guess it's kind of irrelevant. She's taking it regardless, and she doesn't make a lot of money right now, so we're expecting at the very minimum like a couple dollar increase, if not like $5 or $6. I don't really know what the old locker room manager made, but what we do know is that the locker room manager is in charge of the card room, and I think I mentioned that to you before. Um, and that's where she'll make a substantial portion of her money. There's like anywhere between 2 and 10 to 15 tables played of old ladies playing cards at any given day in the summer. Not as much in the fall and not as much in the spring. However, each one of these old ladies always kicks in $5. There's 4 ladies at each table. So my wife is getting somewhere between 40 and like $250 a day just off the card tables. So obviously that'll be a nice little increase to our pay.
Oh, snap.
Oh snap! I still don't know if she'll. I don't know what her hourly wage is. So I don't know if she's actually going to be making more money than I am. But it's got. I don't know. We'll find out later on. There's still a lot more to it. She's excited, obviously. She goes, "I'm the queen of the locker room now," and she's excited to have her assistant before. I'm not her own assistant. I'm not sure if she's ever had one or not. I'm kind of jealous about that. I've never had an assistant. That'd be kind of cool.
Wow, you've never actually been like a management type ever?
Oh, yeah, I guess I have. I didn't think of them as assistants. They were just, fellow employees that I happened to be responsible for, which was normally shitty. Like I was the photo manager at a CVS, so like there was 3 or 4 other employees that were technically under me, but we worked different shifts. So,
Well,
so
yeah,
it's not like I had anyone
I think that was just a glorified title. Like they didn't actually report
yeah.
to you, right?
No, nothing like that. I didn't do their schedules. The store manager did that. I was the office manager at a carpet cleaning place briefly, and once again, there's like 2 other girls that did my job when I wasn't there. But I wasn't their boss. The office manager was. I was kind of supposed to be office manager, but like the general manager was their boss. So no, I don't really think I've ever been in charge of somebody else. Not truly in charge of them.
Well, goddamn, Jay.
Well,
I don't even know what to say to
uh,
that.
Really? I don't know. I don't think it's that unusual. Not everybody moves up into management. Some people are just workers.
Yeah, but usually not by the time they're in their 40s.
Well, you got to remember, I got a late start. I didn't even start at this job until I was, I think 47, 37, about 32. So like my early 30s, before I even got a serious job, really. And while I'm at this point in my career, I'm basically in charge of that department. The only reason they don't say I'm in charge is because they'd have to pay me extra money. But my immediate boss doesn't run that department. I do. She's got nothing to do with it, and I kind of get resentful sometimes when she'll come down in a bad mood and start poking around at things. I'm like, man, I was doing this job before you started working here. Trust me, I know what's going on. After 15 years, if there was something that was an issue, it would have been brought to my attention. She just gets in a mood sometimes, which don't get me wrong, she's a great person. I like her quite a bit. She worked out well as a boss. Actually, all my bosses there are great. I have zero complaints about management there. But it's just not the nature of the job to be able to move up into management. It is what it is.
So basically, you're Milton from Office Space.
Yeah, I've never seen that movie, but
You've
I
never.
assume so.
Oh,
Yeah,
Jesus.
I've seen bits and pieces. You're talking about the guy with the red stapler, I assume.
Exactly.
Yeah, I've just never
Office
seen the
Space
movie
is a
from front to
goddamn
back.
national treasure. You have to watch that movie. And surprisingly, for as old as it is, it actually does hold up.
Right. Well, it's one of those movies that I've seen enough bits and pieces of that I don't really feel like I need to see it because I pretty much know what it's all about. There's lots of movies like that, I think, where I've never actually seen them, but because I've heard so much about them over the years, I don't really feel the need to see them. I know they're probably a good movie, but I already know what the fucking movie's about.
Goddamn, pal. Other than that, what you got?
Oh, geez. As I mentioned, I didn't have much time because I was too busy pouting on my front porch.
Well, you
Okay,
could
there's
have
my
been
phone. I thought
you could have been
I know.
actually productive while pouting on your front porch, and you could have been looking
I
for
was trying.
things.
I was trying to, but once again, the same problem as yesterday. Everything's about the fucking riot, and I've kind of just given up on that because I'm going to, yeah, well, just find the fun stuff to talk about about the riots and the looting and stuff.
Speaking of all that, like I think I'm probably done with the OG.
Oh, geez. Yeah, I know
I
you've
can't
always
fucking
been a
do it
lot more
anymore.
yeah, I know you've always been a lot more liberal leaning than the vast majority of the OG. Although I don't consider you a liberal by any means. Um, but yeah, I can see that. I know how you feel about the entire Black Lives Matter and this looting and rioting, and and the entire and the protests and all that stuff. And there's a significant portion of the OG that just disagrees with you completely.
It's
And
the
like
entire
being the
front
OG,
page. Like I can't get to it. Like I could pretty much I just go on anymore and go to my subscriptions and just
yeah.
kind of poke in here and there. But like, goddamn, it is just the same shit all fucking day.
Yeah, I really wish that they would make a political ground. On the other hand, that might mean that subjects on the OG hang out for 3 or 4 days. So that's probably why they don't do it because they don't want to s- show how much their traffic's political right now.
Yeah, I can only take so many threads of like, kill all the looters.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like,
yeah. I
god
mean,
damn.
yeah, exactly. And just because and don't get me wrong, I 100% disagree with the looting, but having the National Guard shoot at them with machine guns and shit is not the answer to the problem. That's not going to quiet things down. Uh, the fact of the matter is, when it comes to things like that, the National Guard and Army and the police and all that stuff are really limited in what they can do. They can't wholesale start fucking slaughtering people. I mean, if nothing else, there's laws and shit like that. And I realize martial law and curfews and yada yada. Yada. But that's not how we want to go about things. I mean, Jesus Christ, have the people ever thought that out? What would happen if, like, the military came in and started shooting all the looters? What the next step of this is?
Well, this is the problem. You have and it is at this point a pretty large chunk of the OG that now says there is no such thing as a peaceful protester. Because they were looters, now they're all complicit and fuck all of them.
Oh, no, and don't get me wrong, like, in an individual case, if looters are doing stuff that
If you
endangers
catch a
people's
looter,
life.
throw them in fucking
Yeah,
jail. Charge
yeah,
them for
exactly.
destruction of property, burglary,
Yes, and
whatever the fuck else you can throw at them,
eh,
throw at them. But
yeah, and if
trying
you
to put it on the
and if
level
you
of a cop killing somebody, there's levels to this shit.
right,
Murder
and
is
don't get me
murder.
wrong.
Other shit
Mhm.
is still wrong, and you can throw them in jail for it, but it's not murder.
Mhm. And don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to say that, looters should be just let go or anything like that. I think they should be arrested, and if they resist, they should be shot. I mean, that's how it works. You go to jail for crimes. If you resist arrest to the point where they can't bring you in reasonably, you end up getting shot. And I don't want people to get shot either, obviously. I want all of them to go to jail for shit. But there's steps to this. You can't just start shooting people indiscriminately. You have to try to at least try to arrest them first. That's how the law works. We have to follow the laws. You know, oh, don't get me wrong. Personally, it wouldn't bother me all that much if some of them did start getting shot. And you see cases of that happening over and over again with business owners and families protecting their stuff. And I'm not crying any tears about that in the least bit. But the police and the military have to go through the proper procedures and try to arrest these people first. You can't just go and shoot and.
Well, yeah, there is a rule of law. Like we have laws and we have penalties for breaking those laws. And I'm sorry, looting is not a death penalty. Yes, if you are a store owner and you are in your store and they try to break in, at that point, it's the whole like, it's kind of the castle doctrine thing, and that's an entirely
Mm-hmm,
different thing. You can't
mm-hmm.
just say, man, I wish the cops would go in there and just start spraying at people. It's the same. We have fucking idiots on there posting videos of like a guy that got clipped in the fucking face with a tear gas canister, and it was just a big laugh riot. It's like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? God damn.
Yeah, and as we've mentioned over and over again, there's two different types of crowds doing things that we're talking about. There's plenty of people out there protesting peacefully. And I believe it's probably the vast majority. The problem being there is a small segment that is fucking out for themselves and loot, and they probably don't give a shit about this at all. They just see it as an opportunity. But those are two different groups of people. And the problem being the police are being I saw this one coming. The police are in certain cases not being very discriminate about the two different types of people. Hey, Uncle Canada, I kind of figured you'd call.
Hey guys,
I'm gonna step out of this. You and
no,
Well, no, I've already
awesome.
expressed my opinions. I have a feeling you and Ryan are probably going to have a conversation here, so you guys go ahead.
No. But thing is, I think what the issue is with the looters, they're not that stupid either, right? So what they do, I'm assuming, is that there's a lot of peaceful protesters out there. They'll kind of work their way into those peaceful protesters, right? And then at times they do the crazy stuff they do. Then the mob mentality kicks in, and then you end up getting more people doing stupid shit they shouldn't be doing. And again, it's a really complicated situation. And obviously, you guys seen that post about that 77-year-old guy that I guess they videotaped. He was shot for. He used to be a cop, and he was trying to stop somebody from breaking into a pawn shop. Like, for fuck's sakes, man, over a TV, right?
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, and that
sad,
shit's completely fucking wrong, and those people should be dealt with to the fullest extent of the law. It just, where you cross the line is when you start lumping everyone together.
Yeah, but Ryan, I think, again, what the issue is, I think a lot of these organizations or groups that are trying to cause all this bullshit, they kind of work their way into these peaceful rallies and protests and kind of start shit, and then you get the mob effect where shit, chaos ensues and misinformation, and fucking normal people at times go crazy, right? So
some do,
again,
but it's still to the point that it's still a vast majority of it is still peaceful. You also have the situations where you have the crazy people trying to incite a mob, and that mob descends on them, grabs them, and throws them to the cops to have them arrested. Like, there are those things out there too. I don't take issue to completely cracking down on the people that are just completely either rioting, looting, otherwise like forcefully breaking the law. The issue I have is when we have people start saying there's no such thing as a peaceful protester anymore.
Oh, there is. Like, again, there's videos out there. I posted actually a video earlier this morning about out of Spokane. They had this, it's a small, I forget the name of the town, and they had protests there, but these guys had fucking guns. And again, if you guys got a chance, it's a 20-minute video. This guy is basically on the main street of the small town out of Spokane, Idaho. Everybody was fucking, I couldn't believe how many guns and rifles and whatever you guys have over there. Fucking everybody was loaded and ready to go just in case shit went down. But I guess again, it's complicated, right? America's such a big country, and it's so diverse in regards to the demographics of people, yada yada yada, right? So it's a fucked up situation overall, right?
Yeah, it's very complicated and it's very nuanced, and that's where I have the problem when people are seeing it as a black and white thing. And I'm not saying race is black and white. I'm talking like, so it's an all one or all the other.
And honestly, I'm just like you guys mentioned, it is a super complicated situation. I'm always just amazed when people like put out these blunt statements. It's like, it's this, and this, and this. I'm like, you're sure about that? That's a pretty strong stance to take, considering how complex this problem is. You must be way fucking smarter than I am, because I wouldn't fucking touch this situation with a 10-foot pole of that kind of statement. I mean, if you guys get what I'm trying to say, I realize it's kind of a fucked up analogy.
Yeah, but again, but thing is, PJ, it's coming from both sides, right? You got certain sides that are pointing, then you got the other side that's reacting. I know it shouldn't be like that, right? You guys fucking live in the best country in the world, and there should be like a common ground where you can kind of talk things out instead of resorting to violence and what have you, and even reason and use numbers, use stats, and say, hey, is it as bad? Maybe it's not. Maybe it is. Maybe it is. Let's talk it out, right? But again, you got extremists on all sides, and fucks everything up, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, it sucks ass. And Jesus Christ, you know what? Let's go to Yahoo News, our source for all news, and see if we can't find something else to fucking talk about. Oh, there is going to be a new Top Gun coming out eventually. What do you guys think about that?
Is Tom Cruise going to be in it?
Yes, he is, from what I understand, and Jennifer Connelly, who is starting to look a little harsh, but pretty good for her age still.
So I kind of torn on it. Like, it's probably going to suck. Right? I think we can all be honest with that. It's probably going to suck.
It takes a lot to make a Tom Cruise movie suck. I mean, in the last 20 years, can you name one that was truly bad?
Yeah, but how do you go from like Top Gun to another one?
I don't know. I have no. Yeah, I guess the question is what the script's like, because it would be kind of a hard one to pull off. And I haven't looked to see what the actual script is and what the plot line is. I'm sure it's out there at this point. Supposedly it's going to come out in December 23rd, which means it probably is supposed to be coming out right around now. And boy, isn't the movie industry just taking this in the fucking asshole? You know, that's one of the.
All I know is that shit better still have Danger Zone.
Oh God, yeah, I know. That is such an iconic song. Well, there you go. There's a topic. There's iconic movie songs. There's so many of them out there. For example, the other day, my wife was watching the start of some movie, and I wasn't paying attention. I'm just walking through it, and all of a sudden, I heard, you know, the opening strains of Footloose. I'm like, oh fuck me, dude! I haven't heard that song in 20 years. I got all excited for a second. Turns out it was some shitty remake that they did like 4 or 5 years ago. It wasn't the actual movie, but that's a case where the movie was like where the song really fucking made the movie. I mean, you know, they named it after the song. You guys got any songs like that you just love that are from movies?
Oh fuck! Actually, there was a post about I think a day or two ago about like intro songs or best intros of movies. There's so many out there these days. But just back to Tom Cruise, I've always enjoyed him as an actor. And the thing is, he's kind of one of these risk takers. He's done some crazy ass shit, like his own stunts and that. So I'm not sure, you know, if he brings that fucking passion and just the craziness and just whatever. Again, he's like a manly man in regards to being an actor. And again, we'll see. For me, it's a 50-50 toss. Is it going to be good? Is it going to be shit? I hope it's not social justice based, but yeah, we'll see. But Val Kilmer, obviously, he's not in that great shape. He's been messed up for a little while, right?
Yeah, I have no clue what's going on with him, but he's looked horrible fucking for like the last 20 years, basically.
Yeah, I doubt the new one will have Iceman.
Yeah, I'm afraid not. Well, it's a funny thing about Tom Cruise. I think the fact that he's pretty short has shaped his personality in such a way that to get him to where he is today. I think that's one of the reasons why he's such a risk taker. And you know, so I think he's got a Napoleon complex and something to prove. And I think that's how it got him to where he is today.
No, I think all credit goes to Zorlax and the Church of Scientology.
Yeah, but he is a badass though. Like Grad was talking about different stunts he's done. I remember watching one where like he was basically climbing the side of a plane while it was in midair. Now they had harnesses on him and stuff like that, but fuck me, dude, really? You got Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise, like at the time and probably still now, one of the top 5 highest paid, most valuable actors in Hollywood, and I can't believe that the directors and the producers and the people in charge of the movie let him fucking do it. I mean, can you imagine that headline? Tom Cruise falls from an airplane to his death. Because they were up there too. They weren't just like 5 or 10 feet up. They were doing actual scenes with him in midair on this side of this big ass fucking cargo plane.
Well, I mean, if you go full on for Scientology, like you absolutely have a screw loose, and you're up for anything.
Yeah, you think that's what it is? You think that's one of those cases of a faith in your God making you think that you're perfectly safe? Because you see that occasionally.
No, I think it's more like that's just the type of person he is. Like he has that little bit of a screw loose that will allow him to go and do crazy stunts and somehow believe in Scientology. But by all regards, like apparently he's a great fucking dude. So good on him.
Right? Yeah. Yeah, exactly. As long as your religion doesn't adversely affect other people, I don't care what the fuck your religion is. So, and which is funny because really basically no religion is against other people unless you want to get into it and make it that way. And at that point they all are. All of them say don't suffer the other religions and this, that, and the other. But obviously the majority of people find religion a comfort, and as I mentioned, as long as you're not using your religion to oppress other people, more power to you.
Well, and especially when you're like level 49 God level in your religion. Like, I'm sure that's pretty nice too.
Yeah, I imagine that. Do you think he actually believes it? At the end of the day, if you hooked him up to a lie detector and pumped him full of truth serum, do you think he would say he actually believes in Scientology?
I would say, yeah. Like, I think he is that guy that just goes like balls to the wall in everything he does. So somehow it piqued his interest in Scientology, and now he's balls to the wall, Zordon for life.
Yeah, that's true. And you can find really intelligent people that have tricked themselves into believing some pretty dumb shit. Like people
like
for
Elon
example,
Musk
I've known,
thinking that a bunch of random characters constitute a name.
exactly. But I meant more things like I know some pretty intelligent people that 100% believe in Bigfoot. I'm like, really?
Yeah, I don't necessarily know how intelligent they really are.
No,
Yeah,
they're
that's
pretty smart people. I mean, and the funny thing is, it's one of those things that you can't say for 100% they're wrong. I'm pretty sure there's no goddamn Bigfoot, but the world's a big place, and especially up in Canada and parts of the United States, there's still some pretty like unexplored areas.
Well, you have
I
our
think
uncle
there's
from
not
up
much
north
chance
right
in
here.
hell.
Why don't you ask Grad about Bigfoot?
Yeah. Have you ever seen a Bigfoot,
Well,
Grant?
yeah, actually, I'm talking to one right now, Pete.
Don't let him call you that.
We'll call you Sasquatch. No, that's all. Again, the Loch Ness monster and all that horse shit, yada yada. Again, we'll teach their own. You're right. As long as nobody's fucking, you can believe whatever you want.
Right.
I think
Right.
faith can be a good thing to the extent that it gives people comfort, gives more family thing, this and that. But there's extremities on all sides, right? But
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Fuck. Just
Yeah.
we're all
It's
over the
funny.
place on topics. So what are we talking about now? Bigfoot?
Whatever comes to fucking mind, really. It's funny
All
you
right,
mentioned
all right.
It's funny that you mentioned the Loch Ness monster, because I degrade that down even more. Like, the world's a big place. There might be a fucking Bigfoot. The Loch Ness is not that big of a lake. They've checked it out pretty fucking thoroughly. There's no fucking monster in that lake. It's not even that big of a fucking lake, really.
Let's quiz you, PJ. What lake?
The Loch Ness.
Okay, where is that? Where's the lake located?
Oh, isn't it? I believe that's Scotland, isn't it? It's either Scotland or Ireland. I don't know which one.
All right. Okay, just wanted to be sure.
Yeah.
A little bit
How
there.
about you, Ryan? What do you think about all this Bigfoot and Loch Ness monsters?
I think Bigfoot is real, and he is located in Georgia, the state, not the country.
Oh, geez.
Oh, there we go. Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, as long as we're doing this today, let's throw aliens into the mix too, because that one is even more of an interesting conversation, because it's obviously a lot more plausible that there might be aliens out there than there is a Bigfoot hiding in my backyard. What do you think, guys?
Again, well, what do you guys call that section down there? Area 80. There we go. Yeah. So again, I'm not sure how much of it's bullshit, this and that. Like, fuck. I again, for me, I'm assuming there is intelligent beings out there. Again, do we know? Do we not know whether or not they are on other planets, other solar systems? I'm not. Again, to me, like UFOs, for example, right? Those sightings, people videotaping that. Is it all horseshit? Is it not? I don't know. Again, to me, it's just a gray area. I have no idea. What about you, Ray?
Yeah, so I would definitely say there is intelligent life out there, and it would be stupid egotistical to think in the universe, which, if you think about the size, right, it's infinite, and that's a hard thing to comprehend. That means that, like, there's infinite possibilities. There's another, somewhere else in this universe, someone named Passive J hosting a goddamn podcast and we're talking about aliens. Like, that's part of that concept. So obviously there's something out there. We've already explored a decent portion of our solar system. So to think that someone's not further along than that would be silly. Do I think they're necessarily gray little men, or people that think they've been anally probed are not batshit crazy? I don't know if I'd go that far. But absolutely, there's intelligent life out there somewhere.
Right. And one of my favorite quotes is the surest sign of alien life intelligence out there is the fact that they haven't tried to contact us. Um, but it's an interesting thing because, like you said, it's 100% impossible that they're not out there. So the only real question is, have we encountered them or not? And I tend to think no, we probably haven't. There's probably never been alien presence on here. It's the universe is a very big place, and there's a lot of spaces in between. Someone could have some pretty advanced technology, and just never encountered us yet.
See, I don't know if I'd necessarily go that far. See, if you think about it, right? So, like, we're pretty Neanderthalish. Like, as a human race, we haven't been around that long.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that we've already started to identify planets that could sustain life.
Right.
Like, to think that there's other intelligent beings out there that aren't further along in the evolution to be able to pinpoint exactly what planets both can sustain life and are currently sustaining life. Like, I think that makes sense.
Oh,
yes,
sure,
I don't necessarily know if they've actually like visited the Earth or if they've just observed us or whatever else. Like, I have a feeling there's got to be something there.
Oh yeah. And like I said, it might just be a case of that, intelligent life is super duper fucking rare, and it happens only very occasionally. So let's say that being the case, the next intelligent life might be super duper far away from us. It's not that they might be out there exploring planets and doing shit like 50,000 light years away from us. But eventually it's gonna pop up closer to us. But I agree with you. For the most part, we probably have already been observed, and just not contacted for fucking obvious reasons.
Yeah, I mean, they saw a guy in fucking Detroit in a Wookiee suit playing bass in front of his TV through a PlayStation. They're like, you know what? Nah, abort. We're good.
That was very hot, by the way. I should try that. I've never played my bass in my Wookiee suit. I have done yoga in it though. I don't recommend it, to be honest with you.
See, that's the thing. You need to have a gimmick. So like when you're doing the bass playing, you look so fucking boring because I mean you are kind of a boring guy. Like, and there's not like a lot of crazy shit you can do while playing bass. Like, you need to have a gimmick so you can throw it all on YouTube. So you need to play like suit. In a Wookiee suit. With a joint hanging out of your mouth.
Maybe just put on the Wookiee suit and not use the mask.
Even better. I mean, it already looks like you're wearing a mask.
Have you ever seen that movie?
The Mask? With a guy with the fucked up face?
Yeah, the guy with the fucked up face.
Yeah, remember I made a reference to that the other day, saying that's probably what you looked like as a kid, because your skull kind of stays the same size regardless of your body.
It's funny you mentioned that. I posted a picture on the OG today because when my wife went back to work this morning, she wanted a picture of us together. So I took it with her, and like she had her arm out, to hold the phone away, and like I got my arm around her, and I'm leaning my head against her head to be getting the shot. And looking at the picture, the first thing I realize is that I have a fucking enormous head. Holy fuck, dude. It looks like my head is twice the size her head is. I know someone that's a little bit of angles and shit like that, but goddamn, my melon is large.
Well, you have like a Tito Ortiz head, but like half the width.
Yeah, it's just very long. It's long and deep, but not very wide. Yeah, but it is what it is. I never worry about shit like that. That's one of the few things you're not going to change at all. You can work out all day long. Your head's still going to be the same size.
Yeah, you're stuck with that dome, Jay. Sorry to say.
That's okay.
Too many growth hormones, man. Fuck.
Could you imagine if I had taken growth hormones? Holy shit, my neck wouldn't even be able to support my head.
Well, it'd be hilarious because your jaw would have gotten wide, but the rest of your head doesn't.
Oh,
So you would have had this
Jesus.
weird, like, pear-shaped head.
I'm just getting a mental picture of that. That's fucking killing me.
Hey guys, I apologize. I got to get off pretty soon. So when's the next UFC fights? Is it this weekend?
This
Next
weekend.
This weekend, yeah.
Great, fucking right.
Yeah.
Okay, so is it like UFC fight night or just the big show or what?
Oh,
No.
it's a UFC 250.
Yeah, this is going to
Nice,
be a
okay.
pay-per-view that I don't think necessarily any of us plan on legitimately purchasing. But
Oh, I'm sure I'm gonna legitimately purchase it. Dana, don't sue the fuck out of me. But I don't blame anybody else if they don't do that.
All right. Okay, so I'm assuming we're gonna have a fight campaign and all that good shit or what?
Oh yeah.
Yep.
It'll be the last one for me for a while since I'll be going back to work.
and
me
by
Ryan
last
are still
one
arguing
for a
about that.
while for him, we're still doing every pay-per-view. We just won't be doing the fight nights.
Dude,
And
I'm
Jay
telling
does
you.
not
All
get
right,
a say in
sounds
this.
good.
It's going to happen.
Fucking right, Jay. All right, guys. Listen, have a great night. I might try to call in before fight night. If not, I'll definitely call in. You guys are doing a great job and keep it up.
All right,
Excellent.
sounds
Thanks,
good, Uncle
Canada. We
Canada.
appreciate it, boss.
All right, see you guys.
Bye. Oh, let's see. Always good to have Uncle Canada call in. He's always got interesting things to say, regardless of his level of intoxication. It's actually fun because you get two different Canadas. If he hasn't been drinking, he's a fairly serious, insightful person. And then if you get Uncle Drunk Canada, he's a fucking party in a can. So either way is good.
Well, there's a shoot the shit, boys level.
Yeah.
But if you're on the right side of it, you're getting close to 100%. That's fight night, like completely raging out. Uncle Canada claiming that he is the star of the podcast. And on the far left, you have the Uncle Canada that just came home from work and is like the rest of us. Like, I think about the 4 beer mark is his superpower.
Yeah, isn't that funny? I mean, I swear, back in my drinking days, 2 or 3 beers in, I was witty and insightful and made people laugh. 5 beers after that, they were probably asking me to leave the bar. But there's that butter zone where you're not so drunk that you're a fucking idiot, but you had enough drinks in you that like your confidence and all that good shit's through the roof.
Yeah, it's the intoxication level where all of a sudden you become a good pool player. You can shoot darts well. Like if you're a golfer, like you hit your zone there. Like there is that invincible level, but the problem is that is a slippery slope to stay on it.
Yeah, exactly. And that was always my issue. I have a drink, then I have another drink. I'm like, oh, I feel great. I better keep drinking. When they're really the answer is, okay, I feel great. I should probably wait a little while before I have another drink. But I was always like, oh, I don't want to lose this feeling. Better have another drink. Oh, better have another one. And it quickly escalated. At least I was a friendly drunk. I was a happy drunk. I was always having a good time drunk, but it made my talkative level go through the roof, and I imagine it annoyed the fuck out of some people.
Well, yeah, I'm sure you came out of your shell from the super introverted Jay to the more extroverted Jay. But the problem is you have difficulty like forming complete sentences, just stone sober. So I can imagine you once you get past the tipping point, like you'll talk more and more, but the words make sense less and less. And you're 14 foot tall.
So I'm hard to ignore. I don't know, and that was part 2 of why I stopped drinking, because I stopped remembering parts of the night, and it's hard to have an argument with somebody about something you did the night before if you don't remember big parts of the night. So you just have to assume that they're correct.
See, I only forgot one night ever. Like I don't know what it is about drinking, but like I've never had the true blackout except once. And I think I actually ended up getting drugged. So it was actually me and a couple friends. We went out, and it was, oh God, what was it? I think it was like $1 drink nights at some place. So we had quite a few drinks, and like nothing really out of the ordinary. But for some reason, both myself and a friend of mine, like, and we were grabbing drinks for each other and bringing them back. And for some reason, both of us blacked out that night. Apparently, like one of our friends ended up getting me into a taxi home, I ended up waking up the next day having no idea what happened. Same thing for the other
Mm-hmm.
friend. And like none of us have ever had that problem drinking. So it's like I think I probably know what it felt like to be drugged.
Now I had a friend that was my roommate. I've mentioned him multiple times, Ulysses. At one point, he's always been a little more adventuresome with the drugs than I was. I pretty much stuck to just weed. Cocaine's too expensive. Crack's just a bad idea. Heroin, the one time I tried it, didn't do anything for me. Uh, I was pretty much just a weed person. But he always liked to experiment with different things. And at one point, he was taking Xanax. I think that's what it called. Xanax and drinking on it, which is apparently a horrible fucking idea because he started doing weird, nutty things while he was drunk. And he wasn't even drinking that much. He'd like take a Xanax and have like 3 or 4 beers, and then he'd do things like stumble around so drunk that he accidentally turned the fucking stove on. Um, and then went back to bed. I got up like 3 hours later, and the only reason I noticed anything is I could feel the heat coming off of it as I walked by. I'm like, why the fuck is this on? And then I see like the table next to the a stove all smashed over and shit. I've come home and came into my den here in the back and found him sleeping in my chair half naked. I'm like, dude, what are you doing back here? Why would you be here instead of your bed? Just weird fucking things. Probably similar to the stories I hear about Ambien.
Yeah, like Xanax and alcohol is a bad idea.
Yeah.
Like
That was a
literally both of
relatively
those
short.
just enhance the other one. So
Yeah.
like you're just multiplying your impact, and that's never a good idea.
Yeah. No, they luckily for him, he's an intelligent guy. After it only took me telling him 2 or 3 stories about what the fuck he did before he stopped doing that. So it was probably like a couple, 2 or 3 months of him doing that regularly before I could convince him that fucking that's not a great idea. I hadn't reached a point where I was going to tell him that he needed to stop doing it or like move the fuck out, but it was getting closer to that. Yeah. The kicker was when he accidentally stumbled around and accidentally fucking turned the stove on because he'd already broken a couple other things. So like he broke the toilet paper holder off of the fucking side of the counter, and just stupid bullshit like that. But the stove thing was what convinced me and him that needed to fucking stop. So and luckily he's got pretty good willpower about stopping stuff. I've seen him quit all kinds of shit. So but it wasn't a fun encounter. And as I mentioned, I think that's pretty much how Ambien is, isn't it? I hear stories about that too.
Well, yeah, Ambien. Well, I mean, Ambien isn't something that you're necessarily mixing with any other drug. It just like you're known to wake up in the middle of the night, not know that you have woken up in the middle of the night and doing crazy shit. Going back to kind of the chat. So fun fact, Juicer, Vicodin does not work on me. Found this out after surgery. And sorry. I go back home and I'm just kind of sitting there. It was after a small shoulder surgery. But I'm sitting there and I'm in pain, so I take Vicodin. Nothing happens. An hour later, I take more Vicodin. An hour later, I take more Vicodin. Next thing you know, I had taken like 12 or 14 Vicodin over the course of like 6 hours. Wow. I called the doctor and I was like, why is this not helping? And of course, he freaked out saying, like, you should probably make yourself throw up or something. Like, you might, like, you should probably be dead at this point. I was totally fine, but yeah, apparently like Vicodin does not have the intended effect on me.
That's
so
fucking weird.
They bumped me up to Oxy, which I just decided I was just going to deal with the pain because that shit, like I would not play with Oxy.
No. And Vicodin never did much for me either. I consider it one of the lower tiers of pain relief, but it did do something, obviously. That's crazy.
Ibuprofen did more for me.
Now, my big demon is Norcos. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those. They're a pretty high level, and I've been given them several times over the last few years in between the shingles and the cancer and all that good shit. And they fucked up my stomach so goddamn bad that like 5 or 6 days after my cancer surgery, I tried to stop taking them. Because to me, at that point, my stomach hurt more than my fucking cancer wounds did, and that lasted a couple days because it just got worse and worse and worse. Because what the issue was, I'm not sure if you've ever taken Norco before, but it gives you really bad constipation.
So you might want to be listening to chat here. Like
Oh yeah.
yeah, it's basically Vicodin.
No, I don't think Norco is Vicodin.
The Homelander and Tenor are both saying it is, so I trust them.
Okay, well, well, in that case, the Vicodin I had before was not the same as this. Uh,
And when
because,
we're talking about Oxy, I'm not talking oxycodone. Obviously, I'm talking OxyContin. So
right,
just to
right,
talk
right.
about what they tried to put me on.
Right, and it's horrible. It fucking oh, okay. It's just I see what they're saying. Norco is just a super duper strong version of Vicodin. Interesting. Um, so it fucked up my stomach really bad. It reached a point where I stopped taking it because of the constipation thing, and that fucked up my stomach even worse. Basically, whenever I stop taking Norco, I have horrible stomach pains for about 2 or 3 weeks. Uh, and it's not a big thing. I've actually had it put in my medical records that I'm allergic to it. Because if I'm not, it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm not going to fucking take it. I told him, if you need to give me something milder that I'm going to have some pain, I'd rather have that than that shit.
Yeah, pretty much to the fact that, like, if I do anything that they need to give me pain medication for, if it's bad enough, just pump me with some morphine in the hospital. Otherwise, I'll just deal with some fucking pain. But back to
Right.
just drugs overall. Yeah, I've never been much of a drug person. Definitely will drink here and there. And then hallucinogens were fun. Would not touch acid. Mushrooms were great. Did some ecstasy now and then. I tell you what, the best thing ever is to take some ecstasy and go to like an amusement park or a carnival.
Oh yeah, that would be a fucking good time.
All the fucking lights
Ecstasy.
and the music and like the feel of like the wind hitting you like on a roller coaster. Fucking amazing.
Yeah, I did both. They're both good. I like the acid because it's cheap, and you normally, unless they fucked it up, you knew about the dose that you're going to get. Mushrooms were great because they were natural. They didn't fuck with my stomach as much, but you didn't know how much you should eat because they growing in nature, they're all going to have different potency. So yeah, you never knew if you're going to eat a half a bag and not get anything at all, or eat a half a bag and go to the fucking moon. Um, but since rooms aren't really a bad trip if you take too much, even that's not a huge deal.
I still remember one of the most vivid times that I took mushrooms. I ended up laying in a bathtub, just like in like pretty much, I'd say 3/4 submerged, listening to Clint Eastwood by Gorillaz for like what felt like a half an hour, and it was really like just listen to the song twice.
Yeah, it doesn't do a good job of distorting time. That was one of the things I liked about acid so much because it tend to last longer than mushrooms. A good acid trip will last you fucking 8 hours. That's one of the reasons I stopped taking it because it takes 8 hours and then you pretty much feel crappy the next day. You might not feel horrible, but you don't feel right. And I didn't have 8 hours for a buzz anymore, much less a day off whenever I wanted to take it.
Well, see, that's why I like the mushrooms, right? Like, it's only going to hit you for a few hours. But those few hours while you're in it feels like a day and a half. Like, you still get your fun out of it, and you're generally fine by the next day. And especially with someone like me, who's always been kind of on top of supplements and things like that, like, I know the things to take where I'm not going to feel like shit the next day after doing something stupid.
Right, right. Speaking of something stupid, aren't we supposed to be doing fight picks? Fucking Tenor, call in.
Oh, yeah, we do have fight picks. I just
Yeah, we
pulled
gotta
up
do
the
fight
card.
picks. Yep. All right. I was about to pull up the card, but I just realized I told someone to call in, so I probably need to watch the actual call-in screen. Well, if he's not going to call in, we might as well get started. We only got 10 minutes. We need to get our picks in. Oh, he's waiting for Curse. Okay, we can wait a couple more minutes. Let's see. What else do we want to talk about before? Let me go to OG and see if I can't find anything that's not political in some way, shape, or form. Graphic novels you'll swear by. You're not really a comic book person, so I don't think that'd be a good subject. More, nope. That's nope, 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 nope. Oh, they're talking about the stock market. Do you have stocks or just like a 401k?
No, I have a couple kind of smaller stock positions. I also have some stock in my company, but it's not something I play in a ton.
Oh shit! Goddamn! Look who's on.
What's up, yo?
Did
How
you
you
get your
doing, Tanner?
curbside pickup?
No, I'm still waiting for it. I figured I'd fucking call in. Not like I know anybody on this card. I haven't even looked at it, but if the last couple cards are reminiscent of this, I won't fucking know anybody on it.
Well, I mean,
It
I'm
is
at the
not as bad as you think.
yeah, I'm at the early prelims, and I know at least 2 people on it.
Right.
Okay, so I'll know half
All
a
right.
person then.
All right, let's go ahead. Get started, Ryan.
Yeah, so first fight of the night is Evan Dunham versus Herbert Burns.
Mike.
Well, sorry. I thought Tanner was giving his picks. He's getting his food. I'm going to go with Dunham. He's got a win over Joe Lazan. Yeah, it's hard to pick against someone who has that.
Yeah, I'll go Dunham just because I don't know who the hell the other guy is. But it seems like every time they have these cards, they're putting some young lion that I've never heard of against somebody I've heard of, and I only pick the person I've heard of because that's the only person I've heard of. So,
Yeah,
but I'll go Dunham just because I don't know anybody else.
yeah. How about you, Ryan?
I'll go with Herbert Burns because he's Brazilian, and what Tenor said made a lot of sense. Like, these people I seem to have heard of on the early prelims, like, they generally lose.
Yeah. And Dunham's got like twice the fights this guy's. The Burns is like 10-2, while Dunham's 18-8, and 1 draw. All right, who we got next?
All right, next fight is Alonzo Menafield versus Devin Brown Bear Clark.
Devin Brown Bear Clark. Well, Brown Bear is an underdog here on this site, so I'm going to go with Alonzo Menafield.
I'm going with the brown bear.
Wow, I didn't know that was his nickname. That's bold.
You gotta have big, huge balls to call yourself the brown bear.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's true.
I think I'm going to have to go Menafield because I am the only bear on this show.
I was going to write the shit down, but it doesn't really matter. We'll remember it anyways. Let's
Fuck
see.
that. I'm not going
Who's
to
next?
remember this.
Yeah, I don't know where my pen is.
We're going to get to Saturday.
I'll
These people are
remember
gonna be
Dunham because I
fighting
know
over
who he is.
it. Yeah.
Right. All right. It doesn't really matter. Who we got next?
Looks like the main event of the early prelims, which doesn't make sense, is Jussier Formiga versus Alex Perez.
That's how you say that name? Holy shit! Really? That's goddamn. I'm gonna go with Formiga because I've actually heard of him before. I don't know who Alex Perez is, although they have similar records: 23-7 and 23-5.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'll go with Jussier. I'll go with Juicy Smoulier.
I was waiting for that one to come. How about you, Big Dalton?
Yeah, I'll go Formiga. It's higher ranked. I don't think they're putting him out there to lose, so yeah, fuck it.
Yeah. All right. What's next?
We got Kid Dynamite, Charles Bird versus Coconut Bombs with a Z, Maki Pitolo.
Jesus Christ. I need to point out that Charles Bird's nickname is apparently Kid Dynamite.
Well, I
So
said
he
that. I
loses
said
points
Kid
over-
Dynamite, Charles Bird. Are you not listening to me,
my
Jay? Listen to the goddamn podcast.
Oh my, we're falling apart. I wanted to go with Charles Bird, but he has such an unoriginal nickname. I'm going to go with Coconut Guy, I guess.
Yeah, I'm going coconut bombs all day. Acai style.
You know, I was going to go with Bird until I saw that Coconut Bombs was with a Z. That pushes it over the edge. I'm going Maki
that's
Pitolo.
That's the grammar equivalent of turning your pistol sideways. It's a kill shot now.
What team is he out of? Is he out of? I'm gonna guess and say he's Hawaiian. Is he like with Kendall Grove or any of those fucking guys? BJ Penn.
I have absolutely no idea.
All right, good talk.
Good shit right there.
All right, who's next?
Next fight is Cody Stamen versus Brian Kelleher. Cody
Kelleher's
the
fighting
Spartan
again?
Stamen.
Yes, he
Kelleher's
is.
fighting again.
I'm picking him because he's the underdog, but he looks like Icy Mike, so I think he's got it in him.
You got it. That's my boy, Bomb Squad. Got to go with Whitey Mouse.
How about you, Ryan?
Honestly, I want Kelleher to win because, yes, he is just kind of a little kind of awkward-looking dude, very Icy Mike-ish. But I think Stamen probably wins.
Probably. So you're gonna pick Stamen then?
Yes.
Turn off your turn signal, dude. You already made your turn.
I didn't make my turn yet. I'm waiting. I got fucking traffic. I got oncoming traffic, sir. Try to be safe. I should put my seatbelt on. You hear that?
Oh, you're busted.
Yeah.
I always wear my seatbelt, but I do appreciate the fact that my car stops beeping after like 4 beeps and gives up. I always hate those ones that beep forever.
Yeah, I don't even hear it anymore. It's just background noise. I don't even hear it. It's like a crying baby. It's like whatever.
Well, I've been in cars where like someone wouldn't wear their seatbelt and it just go man forever until they finally put their fucking seatbelt on or I kick them out of the car. Yeah, just like that. Yeah.
I'm almost home.
My car is nice enough to stop after 4 beeps. It's like, oh, you don't want to? Okay, fine. That's whatever.
That's the fucking Ford Fiesta SE edition, sir.
ST, god damn it.
Oh, ST, my bad. God, all you need is a D on the end of that, and you could have fucking adult sexual history.
Goddamn right.
Okay, maybe we should move on to the next pick. What do we got, Big Dalton?
We have Ian the Hurricane Heinisch versus GM3 Gerald Meerschaert.
I'm assuming he's Jared Meerschaert the third. Otherwise, his nickname doesn't make any sense. Jeez, I'm going to go with him just because he's got a more imaginative nickname once again.
Yeah, I'm going to go with him because I want to call him GM Punk.
GM Punk, yeah. Dude's got a fucking long-ass record, 31-12.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to go with Heinisch because he has Heine in his name, and he doesn't look as sad as Gerald does in this picture.
All right, who we got next?
All right, we've got Bruce Leroy, Alex Caceres versus the Dream Chase Hooper.
No, the Teenage Dream.
On the UFC side, it just says the Dream. He may have had a birthday. He's no longer a teenager.
I'm going to go with Alex because every single time I pick against that guy, he fucking wins. Although I will point out he's always win-loss, and he won his last one. So logically speaking, he's due to lose this one. But I'm still going to pick him anyways.
Yeah, I'm going Caceres. I like Bruce Leroy.
Yeah.
Good deal. It's not pizza, it's a salad. Get out of here, kids. I love you.
Disappointment.
I know, because it came in a pizza box.
Oh shit! How about you, Big Dalton? Did you tell us who you got?
I'll be right there.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Chase Hooper. So, I think there is a lot of hype behind him. I don't necessarily know if he's good as the hype, but I think he can beat out old Bruce Leroy.
Yeah, who's getting up there a little bit. He's not the young gun that he was 10 years ago. Because he's been in for quite a while now, hasn't he? At least more than 5, right?
Yeah, he's been around quite a while.
He was doing that backyard shit too.
Oh yeah. Jesus. All right, so who's next?
Next we have Eddie Wineland versus Sean O'Malley.
Eddie fucking Wineland still fighting. Nice. Holy shit, dude. Speaking of hype, there's supposed to be a lot of hype behind Sean O'Malley, but honestly, I don't follow him on Twitter, but I see people quote his stuff and like his stuff, so it pops up on my timeline. And honestly, he sounds like kind of a douchebag. But I think he's probably got more than enough to take out old Eddie, though.
Yeah, O'Malley should probably crush Eddie Wineland, but I'm not going against Eddie Wineland. I love that dude back in WEC days. If he can get through 3 rounds without getting his jaw broke, he will win. But he's got a glass fucking jaw, not for being knocked out, but his jaw breaks very easily.
Yeah, poor guy, man. Like you said, he's been fighting for a very long time. 24-13-1.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go O'Malley. He should win the fight.
Yeah. All right, who's next?
Next up, we've got Neil Magny versus Anthony Rocco Martin.
All right. I don't know what pictures they show there, but on my picture, it looks like a competition to see who can grow more abs. Both of them are fucking super duper fucking cut in the ab section. I like Neil. Wasn't he on a edition of The Ultimate Fighter at one point?
I think he was. I don't think he won though.
No, but I think I remember him back from then because I've always had a feeling that he was a cool dude. He's also one of those ones that tends to lose when I think he's going to win. But I'm taking Magni.
Yeah, I'll go Magni.
Yep, I will also go Magni.
Uh-huh.
All right.
What's next, sir?
Coming to our last 3 fights of the night. This one should actually be a pretty fun one. Aljamain Funkmaster Sterling versus Corey Sandhagen.
I got to go up to
Another
Funkmaster.
Bomb Squad guy. Yeah, he's another Bomb Squad guy. Rolled with him many times, and pound for pound, one of the strongest people I've ever rolled with. He's a 35er, and at the time I probably weighed 85, 90, and that dude is strong as shit. So I'm got to go Aljamain.
Oh yeah. He seems like a cool dude. He once again someone I don't follow on Twitter, but I see his tweets pop up here and there. It seems like a good guy. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Funkmaster. How about you, Big Dalton?
Yeah, always like Sterling. Gotta go Sterling here.
All right, what's next?
Alrighty, in our co-main event of the evening, we have Rafael Asunciao versus Cody No Love Garbrandt.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, these are good fights.
Yeah, it shaped up to be a pretty good card.
This isn't bad at all.
I'm going to go with Rafael. I think we've already seen Cody's best, and unless he completely turned it around, I think Rafael should actually take it kind of easy.
I'm going Cody Garbrandt.
Really? I mean, you do know he's got 3 losses in a row. All 2 of them to the same person.
I do know, but he's still young, and his hands are really fucking good. If he could stop goofing around and not get knocked out, Cody Garbrandt is a talented dude. You know, even though he likes to say hanging with the boys, he's I got that dude. Sunsal's been around a long time too, so I think Garbrandt can beat him.
Damn, now you're making me missed out my pick. But I made that pick. I got to stick with it. You can't change it because you think the other guys that you're making picks with made more sense. All right, what you got, Dalton?
Well, we know that Uncle Canada is a strong Cody Garbrandt fan with the way that he likes to shoot the shit with the boys.
The boys.
But yeah, with Garbrandt, like if he's gotten his injuries behind him and he's back to where he should be, like if we see anything near what the Garbrandt was that fought fucking Dominic Cruz, like he should win this fight. So yeah,
He should.
And
he can still be a star.
Yeah, he was super fun to watch when he was out there and moving and picking dudes apart. Like he has a rocket in his fucking arm, but he doesn't have a great chin.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'll go Garbrandt. I want to see him do well, especially in that division with that division's wide open.
Yeah, it's and I always enjoyed watching the faster fighters, the lower classes. A lot of people say they're boring, and I find them less boring than the heavier weight classes. I realize there's less knockouts, but other than that, it's just way more fun to watch them fight 90% of the time.
Yeah, transitions are usually a lot slicker.
Right.
All right, who we got?
All right, main event of the evening, we have Amanda Nunes versus Felicia Spencer.
Oh, I'm going with Spencer, 100%. I think
really
Spencer's bigger. Yeah. I think Amanda Nunes. This isn't her weight class. She came up and did a really good job of taking out Cyborg, but I think if she doesn't knock out Felicia in the first round, she's probably gonna get worked.
Bold pick, my man. I'm going Nunes. Or Nunes, sorry, Nunes. My bad.
Yeah. How about you, Dalton?
Yeah, I'm 100% going Nunes. Like, I'm sorry, Felicia Spencer got completely destroyed by Cyborg. Nunes wrecked Cyborg. Like, I hate to do the MMA math thing, but like, there's not much talent at 145 in the UFC. Like, they never brought in anyone great besides Cyborg. So I don't see anyone on the UFC roster touching her at 145 unless they bring someone in.
All right, cool.
All right, I gotta go eat, guys.
All right, enjoy your food.
Enjoy that.
All right,
salad.
thanks. Have a good one, y'all.
Goddamn vegan bitch.
I need it. I'm fat. Peace, y'all.
All right, Tanner.
And I realize it's a bold pick I'm making, but I just got a feeling You ever have a feeling?
No, I don't. I'm sorry. Emotions and feelings were beaten out of me at a young age, Jay.
Not that type of feeling, just like you feel like you know what's going to happen. And watch, she's gonna almost knock her out in the first round. She's gonna beat the piss out of her, and then the second round she's gonna start to slow down a little bit, and then by the third round, Amanda is gonna realize that she's in deep shit, and I think Felicia will take the last 3 rounds.
Interesting. I don't know if I trust any women from Canada to be a champion.
Right on. All right. Well, I guess we should probably wrap it up at this point. As always, I want to thank the OG Army for showing up. Wouldn't be a show without you guys. I'd like to thank Tenor and Grad for calling in. It's always appreciated. I'd like to thank my co-host, Big Dalton. It wouldn't be a show without you either. I'd just be me here going, yeah. You
Well,
got
Andrew
anything,
would be doing with
Ryan?
a shitty connection and microphone and everything. Like, I've just
Sure.
improved your life there, Jay.
Yeah,
You know how
that's
to lift
true.
weights now. You know what food to eat.
Yeah, well, it's like I inherited a life coach in addition to a podcast partner.
You found an older brother that won't take your shit, even though you're almost double my age.
What else do you got, Ryan?
Got a couple things. Number one, being that it is Wednesday of a fight week. No, that was it. There really is no first thing tonight. Second thing is fuck all y'all.
Everyone have a great night. We'll see everyone tomorrow at 6 p.m. Bye-bye.
Screw you, hippie!